Hey, my name is Chad. This video we're going to talk about my PRS match that I just did yesterday, but it was so cold and it got really windy. I have to admit I was kind of miserable out there and I did not set up my camera for any of the stages. It was just kind of a rough day to be outside and my hands were very hurting. So instead of getting to show you match footage, we're going to get some more powder dropped for my loads that I'm working up and see if we can get more testing done this week for my PRS rifle. So let's take a look, get into this, and we'll see how we did. So I'll start out with kind of the overall. Saturday night, I got to bed about midnight, little after, and then woke up about 4 o'clock. So I was running on 4 hours of sleep, and it was very chilly. So frost on everything in the mornings. As the sun started coming up, it was melting that, and it was just, it was a really cold day. I had heated gloves. I had everything bundled up as much as I could. My hands were still, burning. They got so cold, but I did what I could to try and mitigate that as much as possible. My big weakness is my hands get very cold very quickly, but I do as much as I can to try and prevent that, but I still need my hands exposed to do what I need to on the rifle. So I just try to warm up in between. Overall, for the whole match, there was a maximum of 64 hits that you could have got, like assuming you did everything perfect. Throughout the match, I took a total of 54 shots. I got 35 hits, but my score was only 29. We'll go over that when we talk about some of the stages, but there was a few that you only could score one way, and I kept getting hits, but on the wrong target. We'll just say that was a very frustrating stage. So overall, my score was about 45% of the maximum that you could have gotten, which isn't actually correct because there's no way you could have actually scored the full 64 that you had shots to take for every stage, but we'll talk about that. Overall, though, my hit rate was about 65%, so I'm staying around that 60 to 65% of hitting the targets. I just need to get my actual scores up. So I would have like one stage that I would do really well on, and then I would do another stage I would score very poorly on. But we'll go over, talk about each of the stages while we drop some more powder. So let's get into that. Okay, so I also wanted to show off, this is that EP Integrations loading block. So I was noticing the first time I was dropping powder that my cases were wiggling around when I had the funnel in here. I did not really like that. So with this, you can get your cases dropped in, and it's adjustable size. So you can run it from anything down to like 17 HMR, I believe, and then all the way up to a 338 Lapua, from what I remember correctly, or maybe it was 375 Shitak. Anyways, it goes up very large holes, but you can lock them in, press that up, lock these down, and then your cases are not moving around anymore. So I like that quite a bit more, much more secure. I went ahead and dropped a test load here. So I'm going to go ahead, dump him in. I verified it with my A&D, and it still dropping really nicely. Okay, so the very first stage was a troop line that we did from that elevated position, and with that one we had 5 targets, 2 on each. We had 427, 459, 492, 520, and 576. So with that one to start the day off, I just cold bored it and went for it. And I actually ended up with 8 out of the 10 on that one. So I was very pleased starting out the morning. Of course, by that time, my hands started to get cold. So then I was trying to get my hands warmed up, and we moved to the second stage, which was a tank trap stage. Now, I have never practiced those before. It was 2 targets, one at 300, one at 436, for 8 shots total. You had to use 2 positions on a tank trap. So call time, you get set up on it and shoot at the 300, and then move to the 436, then move positions back to the 300, out to the 436, and then move to the other tank trap, and then do the same thing. Near far, move positions, near far. So unfortunately on that one I was very unstable. Like I was wobbling around a lot and my heart was beating. I was trying to stay warm, and I think I overexerted myself trying to pump my body up beforehand, and I was just pitifully unstable there. But you know, I came away with that one with only one scored hit, so that was very frustrating. So after that I realized I really got to work on the positional stuff and getting more stable. I need to re-examine the way that I'm using my bag, and I just got to get better at the positional stuff and getting stable, calming my heart rate down, and stop being, you know, as twitchy and moving around. So that's what really cost me on this this match, is the positional stuff kind of whooped me good here. So then we moved over to a cement structure that had a small buffalo at 417 and a large one at 564. So this one was 10 shots total. It was kind of confusing. You had 90 seconds and you had to start, get down, shoot at the small buffalo, move position, small buffalo, move position, small buffalo, and then move position and go to the large buffalo and take a shot at it, move position, large buffalo again, move large again. And then actually I need to adjust my stuff. They have it marked as 10 shots, but I think that was only going to be counted as 6 total. Yeah, so I need to adjust my total numbers. I have 4 extra shots added into the total, so that'll make my hit percentage a little bit better. So it was only a 6 total shots. Anyways, I had 2 scored hits on that one. So then we had to load up all of our stuff and move to the second location at this range, which was good several hundred yards away, and it's kind of a miserable walk through mud and cow manure. So first one over there was an animal troop that was shot off of a chemical tote, big square. You're familiar with them if you're around farmers and ranchers and stuff, but that one had 5 targets at different ranges. So we had a 258, 420, 505, 480, and then a 562. 2 shots on each. And that one I actually did good on. That one I got 9 out of the maximum 10. So very pleased with that. Then it was on to the tires. So as I've said before, the tires, they have been beating me pretty good, and this was no exception. I could not get stable. The frost that was on the tires, like, it made my tripod, I guess that's one of the downsides to the MDT SkyPods. They do not do good on tires. So my tripod legs just kept slipping and jumping around on me, and I could not get stable at all. Like, it was pitiful. I only ended up getting 1 hit on that stage out of the 8 maximum. So very disappointed with that one. Okay, so my next charge, we're going to go up to the 39.5. Actually, before we start dropping this powder, I'm going to move these over into a case just so that I can keep them in proper order so I don't get them confused before I seat the bullets in them. Wouldn't want to mess that up. This way I can keep kind of keep them in order in this case, so they'll be in order like the lowest, middle, and the highest charge weights. We'll keep them all in line very easily there. Okay, so now we're jumping up to the 39.5 charge. This was one of the better consistency wise. Okay, so after we did those 2 stages, we moved about maybe 80 yards down closer to where we had started out at, and we had 2 tripod stages set up there. And the first one was called a crow troop line. So we had these crows that were about the size of this folded piece of paper here. So they were quite small. They were at 335, 318, 353, 423, and then 475. So you were to take 2 shots at each with all from a tripod. So that one I was kind of nervous about just because they were very small targets. But I actually ended up getting 7 out of the maximum 10 there. So pretty good. Then we moved on to the next one, which I will admit I was very nervous about just reading it from the instructions, because it was called the tripod spinner stage. And if you have been, watching my match review videos, you'll know that the first range that we've gone to has a spinner that has whipped my butt, and I have not got it to spin yet. So this one was set up a little bit different. We'd have a spinner, say here, and you're straight in a line with it, but behind it there's a little pepper popper. But the only way to see that is to get the spinner to spin. So there's a target here, say this finger here, but the spinner's there, so you can't see it until the spinner moves out of the way. So that was the challenge on that. That's why I said there was no way to even score the maximum number of hits, because you have to burn at least 1 or 2 shots just getting the spinner to move out of the way so that you could see the scoring target. So hits on the spinner itself did not count for score, only the ones on the target behind. And that's what got me. So got the first hit on the spinner, and it got to moving pretty good. And I lined up on the scoring target and started breaking my shots. And somehow or another, I got another hit on the top plate of the spinner, and it got it moving all the way around. And I was like, okay, this will be fine. It's just going to keep, it'll keep spinning, and I won't have to worry about it. Well, this spinner spins much, much faster than the other one. So that thing is, boogieing just. So this spinner is just boom, 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 boom. And I'm trying to hit the target behind it. And it got to spinning so fast, I would be lined up and break the shot, and it would just keep hitting the spinner plate. I finally got 1 hit on the target behind. That was the one for score. And of course, that's the only one that counted. But I hit the spinner like 7. Well, I had 7 total hits that one. I hit it for 6, I think, hits on the spinner. And I think I had 1 miss out of my 8 and 1 that hit the scoring plate. So I got 1 score, but I got like 7 hits, I think. 6 or 7 hits on it. It was kind of wild. But that's how it goes sometimes. So I scored poorly on it, but I did a really good job on the spinner part of it. So kind of frustrating, but that's how it goes. So obviously I was kind of bummed about that, because I was really wanting to, get a higher score. So I would have a few stages where I would do really well, like only miss 1, 2, or 3 shots for the whole stage. And then I'd have other ones where I'd only score 1 or 2 points. So I was quite frustrated. Okay, so yeah, looking back at my notes here. So instead of 64 max, I need to drop that down to 60 was the maximum, like total shots that could be taken. Like I was saying, on that spinner stage, you couldn't actually score maximum because you had to use at least 1 to get the spinner to spin out of the way so you could engage the target behind it. I just got the dumb luck of it was literally spinning so fast. Like 2 of the guys in my group had some ammo they wanted to burn up after we were done, and they got down and tried to like tag team the spinner. One would shoot, then the other would shoot, one would shoot, and they would alternate shooting at it, and they got it spinning. It was literally they came back and told me after they were done that it was spinning faster when I was running my stage than they could get it while they were shooting, alternating one at a time. So it was the craziest thing I've seen. Like, I saw it through my scope, just so I was just like, man, I don't even know when I'm trying to time it. So I would just break the shots and then run bolt breaks. Like, I just kept trying to stay on that back target and hope that the plates did not pop up right at the worst time. So it was spinning way too fast for me to time it, but at least I got the spinner to spin finally in the bolt action. So obviously that's something I need to work on more, getting my timing down. Really, the main thing I want to work on is the positional stuff. So I've got to get some tires found that I can practice on. I've got a few ideas. Maybe I will change like my tripod, or try a couple bag options to see if I can come up with a good way to set up on these tires and not be so wobbly. Like, I'm just moving all around trying to balance. It's very difficult. I will say anybody that can run a tire stage well, they've put in a lot of practice, and I need to get to that point, but it's going to be a while, but I will get there. The other thing is just getting stable on the positional stuff. So I think my idea of being like having my bag clamped onto my rail, that makes it really easy for me to move around. It definitely works good on that tree stage from the first range, but I'm starting to think that it's not the best for these other kind of obstacles. So I need to take that off and give it some tests with just holding the bag and dropping it in place and dropping the rifle down on top of it. I think that will actually work better in like the cement structure and on the tank traps. So the big 4x4s that are set up in threes. So I'm sure you've seen those before, but I need to do some more testing. Downside is it's really cold and miserable outside right now, so I've got to try to think up a good way to practice either inside or try to find better days that I can get out and, you know, just run through dry fire. Really, when I'm on target, I am and I'm stable. Like, I'm not breathing so hard that I can see my reticle moving up and down and side to side on the target. But it's just when I'm stable, boom, boom, I can hit the targets. I have 100% confident in my ability to hit the targets that I'm aiming at as long as I'm stable. So I got to work on getting stable and staying stable throughout the whole stage. So yeah, that crow troop line, that was the first tripod stage. They were, oh, little crows. I mean, about what you would imagine. Like, they're literal steel crow targets. So they're, you know, about the size of a crow bird. And, you know, they're very small. And I was pegging those things quite well. I was very pleased with that. So I was shooting off this tripod. I got pretty confident on that. So I know how to get stable there. I just got to get stable on the other kind of obstacles. But that's going to be one of the main things that I focus on, in addition to getting this ammo situation figured out. Find my best load that will give me, you know, really good, consistent SDs and ES numbers, which I'm very close. So I think with these 3 charges, I'm going to test the best 3 out of the first 5. I'm going to do 10 of each, and we're going to see what comes out ahead out of this group. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching this video, talking about my latest PRS match, what I did good at, what I did bad at, and what I got to work on for the next one. So if you liked hearing about this, I would really appreciate a thumbs up on this video. Take a look down there. Make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss what we got coming up this year. I've got some ballistics gel. I've got some cool ideas for that. Have to wait till it's warmer, but we've got a lot of cool things coming up this year. I can't wait to show all of it to you guys. And make sure you're subscribed. You got to be following along to see everything that I've got planned. Once again, thank you everybody that watches my videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.